Lesson 9. The Man Who Knew Too Much. Alexander Barron. Introduction. A soldier-turned-writer, Alexander Barron has made a name as a novelist, film script writer, and literary critic. From the City, from the Plough, published in 1948, was his novel about the war. Contents. Introduction. The Man Who Knew Too Much is an extract taken from The Humankind by Alexander Barron. In it, he sketches the character of Private Quelch, known as the Professor. The Professor's interruption. Alexander Barron was a new recruit in the army. He and his fellow soldiers had their first lesson in musketry. A sergeant described the mechanism of a service rifle and its speed as well over 40,000 feet a second. There was Private Quelch. He was known as the Professor because of his frowning through, horn-rimmed spectacles. Though an ordinary soldier of the lowest rank, he knew by heart technical definitions, the parts of the rifle, its use and care. He interrupted the sergeant, pinpointing the speed of a service rifle as 2,440 feet per second. The sergeant, at the end of the lecture, put questions to the trainees and asked the professor whether he had had any training. The professor denied having had any training and claimed that it was all a matter of intelligent reading. The professor's ambition and accomplishment. The professor had brains. He was sure to get a commission. As a first step, he meant to get a stripe. In pursuit of his ambition, he worked hard. He borrowed training manuals and burned the midnight oil and taxed his brain with facts and figures. He badgered the instructors with questions. He drilled with enthusiasm, and en route marches, he was tireless. His salute at pay table was a model to behold. With officers in sight, he would march to the canteen like a guardsman. The professor's conduct to his fellow soldiers. Day in and day out, the professor lectured to the trainees on every aspect of human knowledge. At first, the trainees had a certain respect for him. Soon it developed into horror. Every time they made a mistake, the professor would publicly correct them. Once, out for a walk, they heard the drone of a plane flying overhead. None of them could even see it in the glare of the sun. But without looking upward, the professor identified it from the harsh engine note as a North American Harvard trainer. A turning point in the professor's life. On one occasion, Corporal Tumble was taking a lesson on the hand grenade for the trainees. He was a young man, but not a man to be trifled with. He was telling them about the division of the outside of a grenade into a large number of fragments to assist segmentation. The professor sprang a surprise on all by specifying the number of segments as 44 and even reminded the corporal that he should have started off with the 5 characteristics of the grenade. The corporal got offended and asked the professor himself to give the lecture. Unabashedly, the professor gave them an exceptional lecture on the grenade. At the end of the lecture, the corporal asked the professor to fall in with others. He then told the trainees that as per the platoon officer's request, he was nominating the professor for the cookhouse as he was just the man for the job. Thus the corporal snubbed the professor and had his revenge on him. Conclusion. The assignments of cookhouse duties was really a punishment given to the professor, but he was in no way different. He had not given up his pompousness even after going to the cookhouse. It was a sight to dream of to see the professor protesting against the unscientific and unhygienic method of peeling potatoes. Summary. Alexander, a new recruit in the army, chanced to meet Private Quelch during the first lesson in musketry under a sergeant. Private Quelch was known as the professor because of his frowning through the horn-rimmed spectacles. Private Quelch knew by heart technical definitions, the parts of the rifle, its use and care. He interrupted the sergeant by specifying the speed of a service rifle. He claimed to have had no training but owed everything to intelligent reading. The professor's aim was to get a commission. He worked hard. He borrowed training manuals and studied them late at night. He lectured to the trainees on every aspect of human knowledge. Without looking up, he could identify a plane flying overhead. On one occasion, Corporal Turnbull was teaching the trainees the division of the outside of a hand grenade. To the surprise of all, the professor specified the number of segments and reminded the corporal that he should have begun his lecture with the 5 characteristics of the grenade. The corporal got offended. To snub the professor, the corporal told the trainees that as per the platoon officer's request, he was nominating the professor for the cookhouse. Even after going to the cookhouse, the professor had not given up his pompousness. In all seriousness, he was seen telling the trainees about the sheer waste of vitamins caused by the unscientific and unhygienic method of peeling potatoes. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe and share.